Hello mathematicians. Today we are going to look at two different goals. They're highlighted in yellow here. The first one we're going to look at recognizing like terms, and we are going to extend that idea to radicals. And we'll follow up with some adding and subtracting with radicals, specifically square roots. So let's talk about that first one, recognizing like terms. And you're already familiar with like terms when we say something like 2x and 3x as being like terms. So what we want to do is talk about how that same idea applies to like radicals. And that's going to be our first bullet point in the notes for our definition or vocab box. Like radicals have the same index, so we're talking about both being square roots or both being cube roots, fourth roots, and so on. And they also have the same radicand. So to give you an example of some like radicals, if I was looking at the cube root of 5, and a like radical, I could say 2 cube root of 5. These would be like radicals because first off they have the same index, that's the 3 for the cube root, and they have the same radicand with the 5. That's the part under the radical symbol. Okay, so the first goal for today is recognizing those like terms, and that's going to actually help us. So the quicker that we can recognize those like terms, it will help make your adding and subtracting with radicals a little bit easier. And to talk about that, we are going to look at the second bullet point in our definition box here. Let me scroll a little bit. Okay, so it says to add or subtract radicals, we need to add or subtract, based on what symbol we have in the problem, we're going to add or subtract the coefficients of those like radicals. So that's important to notice that we are talking about using, we are using the like radicals idea. So just like with variables, you would look for like terms and add x's with x's, or y's with y's. Same thing with our radicals. They have to be like radicals in order to add or subtract them together. So let's look at the first example and see if we can find some like radicals that we can add together. Okay, so I look at the first example and it starts off with 6 square root 7 minus 2 square root 7 minus square root of 3 plus 4 square root of 3. So the first thing that jumps out at me are the first two terms. They are both square root 7s. So they have the same index, being a square root, and the radicand, the 7, under the radical symbol is the same. So these qualify as like terms. Now if I use my definition up above, it says that I want to add or subtract the coefficients. So that's going to be the number in front of the radical. So I'm looking at the 6 and the 2 as my coefficients here. And since I see a subtraction sign, I am going to do 6 minus 2. Okay, and that's going to be 4. And I have 4 what? Because remember, we're subtracting square root 7s. So for the first two terms, when I subtract 6 square root 7 and 2 square root 7, I am going to wind up with 4 square root 7. So the coefficient, the number in front, changes based on whether I'm adding or subtracting, but the radicand and the radical symbol will stay the same. So the 4 in front tells me how many of these square root 7s that I have. Okay, now there are 2 more terms that we need to look at. I don't want to overlook those or ignore them. So I'm going to come back here and look at the last 2 terms. I'm noticing that those are both square root 3. So these also qualify as like terms. Now I do need to be careful when I'm looking at the coefficients here because that is a -1. I'm going to write that in so I don't forget. When I'm looking at the coefficient on that first square root 3, it's a -1 square root 3. And then I'm going to add that with the other coefficient, the 4, that's in front of my second square root 3. So when I add -1 and 4 together, I am going to get +3. Okay. Oh. Now remember, 3 is just the coefficient. I want to keep my radical, and that is actually also a square root 3. So the 3 in front came from adding the -1 and the 4, and then remember we keep the square root of 3 because that's telling me what I have. The 3 in front, the coefficient, how many, so I have 3 of what? I have 3 square root 3. And that is our final answer. Okay, so the key is looking for those like radicals and then identify the coefficients to either add or subtract together. Okay, so let's look at another example here. I am going to scroll over and we're going to look at example 2 from your workbook. Now the first thing I'm noticing, these are not like radicals. The first one is a square root 45, the second one is a square root 80. Now before you put your pencil down and say, oh, can't do it, I want you to look a little closer here. We're going to take a deeper look. And that first radical, I'm looking at the square root 45, I think we can break that down. Remember, day 1 of radicals, we were working on simplifying. So let's take a closer look at how I can break down that square root 45. Okay, so I'm going to use my factor tree and come up with 2 numbers that multiply to 45, and the first 2 numbers that pop into my mind are 9 times 5, and then I'm going to break the 9 down into 3 times 3. Okay, so I notice a pair of 3's that are going to group up and pop out of the radical. So out in front I'm going to have the 2 that was originally there, but joining that 2 now is the 3, because remember I found a pair of 3's. And inside, or underneath, the radical symbol, I am going to still have my 5. Because remember, we did not find another 5 to pair up with. Or an even better or more simplified version, because I have 2 times 3 out in front, I'm going to actually clean that up and write that as 6 square root 5 for that first term. Okay. Now let's try that one more time with our second term. Specifically, I'm looking at the 80, and I think I can break that down into 8 times 10 is the first thing that comes to mind. And 8 can split a little bit further into 2 times 4, and actually 4 is made up of 2 times 2. Let's go back to the 10. I am noticing I can break that down even further into 2 times 5. Okay. So here we have a group of 2's. Actually, I have another group of 2's here. Okay, pen's not quite working. Let's try again. There we go. Group those 2's. So remember, they're started with a 4, and we are going to bring out a 2 to represent my first group and a 2 to represent the second group. Underneath the radical, the 5 that didn't have another 5 to group up with will stay underneath that radical sign. So a better or more simplified way, I can multiply 4 times 2 times 2 on the outside for 16. Square root 5. Okay, so now when I look at my 2 terms, remember that first term that we broke down was the 6 square root 5. That was this first one here. And now the second one we broke down was a 16 square root 5. And the original problem asked us to add the two terms together. Now that they're completely reduced, I am noticing some like radicals. So using the idea in the first example, I am going to look at the coefficients out in front. So the first one has a 6 and the second one has a 16. And that's what I want to add here. So I'm going to add 6 plus 16 to get 22. And don't forget, 22 what? We have to still include the square root 5 for our final answer. So the reason why I included example 2 in the workbook is because it's important to realize if you don't see like terms right off the bat, take a look, see if you can reduce those radicals. Sometimes when you reduce the radicals, you will find some like terms that you didn't quite see in the beginning.